hosted Houston transfer running back Alton McCaskill, on one of the top skill players in the portal. Will winner of the AAC Rookie of the Year in 2021 season, rushed for 961 yards, 5.1 yard average per attempt, 16 touchdowns in 14 contests. McCaskill also recorded 21 receptions for 113 yards and 2 scores. Towards the ACL last spring, about a year ago, so he didn't get to build on that performance. 3 years left. And I did see a whole lot, Will, over social media and Gators Breakdown Plus Discord. Why running back? Why running back are we targeting in the transfer portal this year? Florida stacked that running back. Look, this is a future move for Florida. You know, we don't know what the future holds for the running back spot. Montrell Johnson could go to the NFL draft. Cam Carroll, only 1 year at Florida as well. So, you know, it leaves you with ETN, Webb, and, of course, some commits that Florida has. But, you know, this would give you, if he ended up committing to Florida, some depth for, you know, this is not a 2023 season move. This is more of a down the road guy who's already proven at a level here at AAC, you know, was the best freshman running back in the AAC that year at Houston. You know, Houston is not some small program out there in the AAC. So you impressed there at Houston with Dana Holgerson. I think you can do some good things there at Florida. Well, Florida brought him on campus this past weekend. No issue with it. And look, I know there's other needs in the portal, but this is a future move, not an immediate move for 2023. If you have the room, you know, if you're hopefully, and I'm sure the staff is doing it the right way of not forcing other positions out just to bring McCaskill in. But if you got the room for him, he wants to come to Florida, I see no issue with it. He was a 406 overall player in the 2021 class, 27th running back, produced as a true freshman at Houston.
Let me ask you, what position did we see on Florida last year where we went, wow, we don't need anybody else there? Like, we don't criticize Georgia. You look at Georgia and the quarterback competition they have this year. It's two 5-stars and a 4-star, and you're sitting there going, "How are those guys in there?" You look at Ole Miss bringing in like 3 transfers this year, all at the same position, and go, "What do they do? Like, why would those guys go there?" And you just look at it, you go, the schools that do well are the ones that stockpile talent everywhere. And so don't let scholarships go to waste. Don't play with 82 or 83 scholarship players because you didn't want to bring in some guy for need. Bring in the best players you can bring in and then let the chips fall where they may. And if McCaskill beats out Johnson and ETN, then you're better than you were. And if he doesn't beat out Johnson and ETN, then he can transfer someplace else at the end of the year or he can take over when those guys leave. But the idea that you'd want to avoid competition, that you wouldn't want to bring people in when there's no penalty for doing it, I think is the thing that you got to look at. So in the past, when you had limits in the number of counters that you could have with transfers, where you brought in a transfer and that meant you couldn't bring in a high school kid, that made a huge difference. And so Florida had signed 28 and 29 guys in the last 2 high school cycles. Well, now bringing in a guy like McCaskill would have a negative impact because you would be limiting what you could do in the next recruiting class by bringing him in because of scholarships and also because of the counter system and the way that works. They don't have that problem right now. They're not at 85 scholarships. They signed, I think, 19 guys 2 years ago and 20 this year. And so, you know, you're allowed to sign extra guys for guys who go out the transfer portal. And there have been plenty of guys who transferred out. So Florida, from a numbers perspective, doesn't have a crunch. And so if you've got a guy who's skilled, who plays a position, even if the position is stacked, you bring him in because you have the numbers to do so. So unless it means they're not bringing in a tight end or a quarterback, I don't really have an issue with it. And look, they still got the space to bring in those guys too. So McCaskill's put up some stats when he's had the opportunity. Certainly, I think, you know, you'd look at the medicals of somebody who's had knee injuries like that at the running back position, but an ACL injury is just a year injury at this point. It's not career ending. It's not career threatening. Guys get back to what they were pretty quickly. And, you know, more competition anywhere on this team is a good thing. Like compete, have guys to replace the guys who are not performing. That's how you're going to get better.
The Florida Victorious $2 million match challenge for the month of May. Every new pledge, one-time pledges as well, and membership signups will be matched up to a total of $2 million. Let's make $2 million, $4 million, double the impact this month. Link is in the description to join Florida Victorious.
Want more Gators Breakdown? Join Gators Breakdown Plus. Starting at $3 a month, Get access to unique episodes, plus a blog, chat room, giveaways, shout-outs, and more. Gators Breakdown Plus is furthering the interaction with fans and listeners like you. Head to gatorsbreakdown.supportingcast.fm to join Gators Breakdown Plus today.